Aren't we all just a little bit fascinated by DNA tests? Aren't we all ultimately continuing to learn and trying to sort out how to perceive the results of these DNA tests? Here's where I'm at right now as an American, and my perspective is a lot different than the rest of the world. So this is me trying to learn. But this whole concept of what Spanish DNA is, I'm trying to sort this out. I struggle enough with understanding exactly what Jewish DNA is, but just Spanish. Now, of course, with MyHeritage, which is the test I went through, it packs it together with Iberian, under the umbrella of Iberian, which is Spanish and Portuguese. Spanish and Portuguese is the same DNA according to the genetic markers on MyHeritage. I accept that. Which makes me think, well, what's the difference between someone who's Portuguese and Spanish other than what side of the border their ancestors came from? I guess that's its own video. But ultimately, what I'm trying to figure out is, and I've said this before, in my lifetime, I've never met a person from Spain. I've traveled the world, but I've never met a person from Spain. Not to be confused with Hispanic people, people who speak Spanish, people of Native American descent that speak Spanish. No, a person from the nation of Spain. I've never met a person from the nation of Spain. I would like to. It hasn't happened yet. I'm pushing 40, and I've traveled the world. I've been to many countries on the other side of the globe, but I've never met a person from Spain. I guess I've seen them on TV, but even then, for me to understand what a Spanish person looks like, what I would love to take it to the extreme of knowing, okay, is there anybody out there who took a DNA test and it showed 100% Iberian or Spanish or Portuguese, however you want to put it, 100% Iberian, 100% Spanish? What would that look like? What would that look like? I totally accept the reality that there are people in Spain with lighter skin than I have, blonde hair, blue eyes, and they're as Spanish as can be. I accept that. But even in my mind, I'm thinking, yeah, but they must be also mixed with other backgrounds too that would have those lighter features. Like maybe they have some Swedish ancestors or Norwegian. There's a reason they have blonde hair and blue eyes and are Spanish. In my mind, someone who is Spanish, they're, yes, a white person, and they may have lighter brown hair than I do, but ultimately they're going to have those darker features. If you were 100% Spanish, 100% Iberian, 100% Portuguese, according to your DNA test, if it's at 100% of any of those things I just named, which again, MyHeritage will say Iberian, if you were 100% Spanish for your DNA markers, what would you look like? I mean, do we have any references here? Is there any celebrities that say that person is 100% Spanish and that is what 100% Spanish looks like? Because we can do the same thing with, again, if you're 100%, let's say, Norwegian or Swedish, there's a good chance, right, that you're going to have blonde hair, blue eyes, as compared to having features that look like me. And I get it. There's people that are Norwegian as can be, all their ancestors go back, and they still have my features. But ultimately, isn't part of our hopes that with these genetic markers that they present some sort of predictable format of what a person looks like? Because to some degree, if you look at someone who shows up as 100% Japanese and compare that to someone who shows up as 100% Scottish, you're going to be able to look at them and tell a difference. So the confusion for me is Spain, because Spain's right in the middle of all the mixing going on for all these centuries. Can we even know what Spanish is? We can easily do it with, if you've got someone who's Japanese. I myself typically can look at someone who's Japanese compared to someone who's Chinese and tell the difference. I can see the difference there. But I can't do that with someone who's Spanish because I don't even really know what a Spanish person's supposed to look like, even aside from the fact here in America that people who speak Spanish are mixed with native. Forget about all that. Let's just talk about Europe then. That's fine. Talk about Europe. What does a Spanish person look like if you're 100% Iberian? What would you look like? Does that even exist? Is this all imaginary? Is it all just an arbitrary system of genetic markers that keeps us entertained? But ultimately the answer is no, because going again back to comparing a Japanese person that's 100% Japanese to a person that shows 100% Scottish or 100% anything that doesn't look like a Japanese person. There's a difference that you can see. So can we do that with a Spanish person? Can we isolate 100% Iberian and then let me know what that looks like? I have no idea. I need your help. Are you going to leave a comment and teach me?